Hello there.
Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of That Sure Was a Movie. We've got another episode this week, so that's exciting. We just dropped our Lightyear episode a couple days ago, and we're back. What are we back with? Well, I think you already know by the title, but our intro is also a clue. This guy's also a clue. My shirt is also a clue. We are talking about, and yes, Maeve's Kenobi.
Yes.
We're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi today, the series on Disney Plus. It is over already. It's crazy. I don't know how it's already over.
Feels like it just started like 2 weeks ago and now it's all
It
done.
does. It's all over. Sad, but yeah, we'll kind of get into our opinions on that in a second. But yeah, Star Wars, another Star Wars episode. If you want to check out our other Star Wars episode, we rank all the movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star Wars episodes are always fun because that's my favorite thing to talk about, as you can see behind me. If you're on the YouTube version. If not, sorry. But every episode.
I know you say that every single time.
But yeah, head over to YouTube if you want to see visuals. Yeah, it's a video podcast over there.
Yeah.
But if not, Spotify, Apple, we'll send on audio. All right, so I think we should just jump right into Kenobi. Let's not waste our time with movie news because we already covered that in our Lightyear episode. It's all kind of the same stuff. And nothing's really happened since yesterday at the time of recording. So,
And
Kenobi.
to begin, if you haven't seen it, there's gonna be spoilers. So,
Yeah, so
go watch it first.
Don't watch this if you haven't seen Kenobi.
Don't watch it now. Come back and watch it later.
Yes, but come back and watch it after you watch Kenobi. Or if you don't care, watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you not to watch our podcast. It's not the way to do things. Okay, so what?
I said, yeah, do whatever you want.
So Kenobi dropped the first two episodes at the same time. That was the night of the Morbius incident.
Oh God.
If you don't know about the Morbius incident, check out our episode. What episode was that in?
That was that Top Gun?
It might have been. I think it was. If you don't want to find the exact moment, I go over to our Instagram and I think TikTok. I don't know if we posted on TikTok or not, but on our Instagram at least, it's I tell part of the story. So find that and then find the episode and then find that moment in the episode. It's labeled story time in the chapters, so you'll find it. But yeah, the first two episodes drop, and I'm just gonna give my general thoughts right off the bat of this entire series. It's a little underwhelming, not gonna lie. Revenge of the Sith is my favorite movie ever made. Yeah, crazy, right? Yeah, well, it's just the best. So sorry, get over it. But I was so excited for this because they're making a follow-up to the best movie ever made. And not gonna lie, it's a little underwhelming. It was kind of boring, kind of pointless, the first 4 episodes. Just 2 episodes were Leia running away and Obi-Wan chasing after her. And then the other 2 episodes were, Obi-Wan rescuing Leia. So nothing. But the last 2 episodes kind of made up for that.
Mhm.
And I think you could tell, because originally Obi-Wan was supposed to be a movie. And I think you could feel that because it felt like they were just trying to fill the gaps because it was supposed to be originally a 2-hour movie, but now it's 6 hours of episodes.
Mhm.
And it felt like the last 2 episodes were the only episodes necessary. Like that was the story, basically, the last 2 episodes. Everything else, nothing happened. So
Did they ever say why they were like changing it from a movie concept to a series, or was it
Well, I
just
don't think it was like it wasn't like announced as like a movie or anything. They didn't like technically change it, but like originally it was said to they were gonna make an Obi-Wan movie.
gotcha?
Like
Okay.
it was, I don't think it was ever like in the works as a movie, but maybe it was. It felt like it was because it felt like they're like, okay, we have 2 hours of plot here, but we need to stretch it into 6 episodes. So like, what can we do for 4 hours? Well, how about Leia runs away and Obi-Wan chases after? That'll do it, right? Yeah. Um, I will say though, it was disappointing and underwhelming, but I enjoyed every episode at least somewhat. Like some parts were annoying, some parts were I was expecting it to be amazing and it just wasn't. But I enjoyed it at least. Seeing Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan and Hayden Christensen as Anakin and Darth Vader was insane. So fun. I love it. Um, but yeah, the last 2 episodes I thought were great. So I don't know. We'll get into like some more specifics later, but that's kind of my general thoughts.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fine. I thought it was a big step up from Book of Boba Fett because that one just felt like a chore to watch.
Hmm.
I mean, it was Star Wars, so I was still gonna watch it, but like I just didn't like Book of Boba Fett at all. And
Not even the Mandalorian episodes.
okay, no, I take that back. The Mandalorian episodes were good, but the overall series itself wasn't good until it became
Anytime,
on Mando.
anytime Boba Fett was in the show, it was not good.
Right.
Once it became a Mandalorian episode, yeah, that's when it was good. And
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard, incredible. She needs
Mhm.
to direct more Star Wars stuff because that episode she directed was insane.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I thought it was significantly better than Boba Fett because I still looked forward to every episode, and I mean, I was entertained. Like, it wasn't at any point like, oh God, I gotta watch the new Kenobi episode. Um,
Yeah, like I was excited for every single episode. Like every week I was excited for it.
yeah,
Um, okay, I take that back though. Well, I don't take that back, but I'm always excited to see new Star Wars. Even the Book of Boba Fett, I was excited to watch, even though I wasn't enjoying it that much. It's Star Wars and it's fun to me. I pretty much like anything Star Wars. Even the Rise of Skywalker, I think is fun, has some fun parts. It's annoying and the story's a mess, and that makes me a little frustrated with how they handled the like trilogy, but like that's how they handled the trilogy, and that is the movie that exists. So I'm gonna take away what I can enjoy from it. So that's kind of how it works, Star Wars. Revenge of the Sith is my favorite movie of all time. So you can already tell that like I kind of have a bias towards Star Wars. Like it's not gonna be perfect, but there's always gonna be something there that I can enjoy and take away from it. So
yeah,
I don't know. It was Kenobi was it's a show.
it is.
I don't know. I feel like I need another couple days to like fully digest what I've witnessed the past 5 weeks, I guess.
Mm,
But I think I'm glad it exists. To be honest, if it didn't exist, it'd be okay. But the stuff we got with Vader and Obi-Wan was
mm,
so cool in that
yeah,
last episode. The fan service was amazing. Um, say what you want about fan service, but I'm always all for fan service. I don't care.
yeah,
Give the audience what they want.
yeah.
Qui-Gon, Liam Neeson
Qui-Gon
is
came back.
back. Oh my gosh, that
That
was
made me so
incredible.
happy. Oh my gosh.
Like I was like expecting it to happen, and like I'm like, when is Qui-Gon gonna show up? But then I kind of just like at that point just like kind of forgot that like I expected him to show up. And then I see out in the distance this guy like slowly fading into the shot and like, let's go.
I had kind of
And
expected it because like they mentioned every once in a while, like they mentioned Qui-Gon a few times in the
yeah,
past few episodes. So I was like, okay, he's got to show up at some point. And
yeah. I mean, we all knew he was gonna be in it, but I don't know. It was so cool seeing him back.
yeah.
Uh,
And we got hello there.
Hello there.
which I didn't think we were
Yes.
getting.
We got hello there. We got I will do what I must.
I will do what I must.
From the greatest scene in cinematic history.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
You will try.
Which that scene is also very, very similar to the Rebels season 2 finale with Ahsoka and Vader when he says, I'm not, oh yeah, you haven't seen Rebels, but it's not really a spoiler. What?
I was just saying, no, I haven't seen Rebels yet, but
Yeah, I know you have. I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just
Okay.
saying it's similar. Sorry that we can't talk about Star Wars on our Star Wars podcast episode because my co-host hasn't seen Star Wars.
listen, we're getting there. I'm working on the Clone Wars.
Just kidding. But yeah, it reminded me the line that Vader said was like the exact same. So it was like, yeah, that was like immediately what I thought of. But yeah, I don't know, like what else did we get? We got the voice of Anakin when he was like buried in those rocks,
Oh, yeah.
like clips from like all the different movies in Revenge of the Sith. So
Mhm.
good. So good. I love it.
I will say one thing that was really interesting. I know we had discussed this last week when episode 5 came out, but when they had the flashbacks to like Attack of the Clones era Anakin,
Mm.
and they just like it seemed like they didn't do any work to make Hayden Christensen look like younger Anakin.
Yeah, that was
And that was really
odd.
odd.
Like, I'm not gonna like be like that's ruins the show.
Hmm.
But you're Lucasfilm and you're Disney. You have the budget to de-age Hayden Christensen for like what, the 30 seconds of screen time that he was there. Like it
I
was
mean,
just
like,
weird. Like they literally made Luke Skywalker. They used Mark Hamill to make Luke Skywalker. That Mark Hamill's way much of an age difference between that and
yeah.
Luke than Hayden Christensen is now to Revenge of the Sith Anakin. So
Mhm.
like it would have been an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Like obviously nothing's easy, but like the people working for Lucasfilm clearly know how to do things. So like would have been it was odd. I don't know why they didn't do that, but I mean whatever. Like it didn't really it I will say it didn't make it worse, but it did kind of take away from the moment because that's immediately what I thought of and said, well, no, immediately I'm like, let's go, Anakin, let's go. This is exactly what I wanted. But then I'm like, oh wait, he's old. Why does he look old? But like, whatever. I'm just so happy we saw Hayden Christensen back as Anakin in 2022. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, just odd. I don't know why they didn't do that. But oh well. I think something else that I just thought was funny. Like, I feel like some of the characters didn't feel like Star Wars characters, and they just felt like Ice Cube's son and Kumail Nanjiani. Like Kumail Nanjiani's character, like I feel like he wasn't a character in Star Wars, and he's just Kumail
Oh,
Nanjiani.
okay. Yeah.
And
I
then
that.
O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son. I just feel like I was just watching Ice Cube's son, not a Star Wars character. Like it's nothing to do with like their acting or anything. Well, it is to do with Kumail Nanjiani's acting because his acting style just like I don't know. It feels like it doesn't belong in this story.
It felt more like Marvel humor type to me, like he was trying to bring that Marvel type
Yeah, it's
comedy. And just
yeah, and even in Eternals, I feel like it felt a little weird because I don't know. He's such a specific type of actor. Like every character, I feel like is this like not the same, but like has that same sense of humor. And I don't know. I feel like it was weird casting. I mean, O'Shea Jackson Jr. is fine, but I feel like every time I just see him on a screen, it's like, hey, that's Ice Cube's son. Whatever. I mean, I just that's not anything bad about the show. It's just interesting thing I thought of. But yeah, I mean, Riva is an interesting thing to talk about because there's been a lot of controversy, not really controversy, but like
been a
mixed
lot of
opinions
discussion.
surrounding her character.
Yeah.
A lot of people hated the character, didn't like the acting, and then a lot of people came to the defense of it. So I will say at first, wasn't a big fan of the character. And once it kind of got to what we see, what they're doing with the character, where she's turning basically and wants to kill Anakin and get revenge for what he did to her and all of the other younglings at the Jedi Temple. Was made for a good character, and there's a good scene in the finale when her and Obi-Wan were there on Tatooine. But also, I feel like it's a very, like, the redemption arc was cool, but it's a very familiar thing they do in Star Wars that we've seen a lot in the movies and the games. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's fine, but I think I much rather would have preferred a Inquisitor just like going full like Inquisitor mode and like being an Inquisitor and like being fully on board with the Empire. I think that would have been much cooler.
Yeah.
I think they should have used the Grand Inquisitor as the main Inquisitor, or at least have Riva as basically just another one who's like fully on board with the Empire. But that's not what we got. And I think that's okay. But I think it would have been better if we would have, because it kind of feels like unnecessary that the story exists if like there really wasn't a threat to Obi-Wan, if like Reeve is like the main person going after him this whole time, but really she's not in a way. Like all she cares about is Anakin and getting revenge on Anakin. So yeah, I'm not completely happy with Reva's character. I think it was fine. I think the acting was fine. People need to stop with the acting was horrible. I will say it was stronger in the later episodes, I feel like. But maybe that's just kind of like how she kind of interpreted the character. I don't know if she won. I don't know. She felt very Anakin-like, I will say though. I don't just like with the way she like spoke and thought, which I think was cool. But yeah, I would have rather seen an Inquisitor just being like, go all out, do whatever it takes to kill every Jedi in sight. Something that I wish we saw. Actually, I don't wish we saw. I don't know. I don't know if I wish we saw this. In Rebels, we see the Inquisitors use their lightsabers as like helicopters.
Oh, interesting.
And they fly away. I'm gonna try to pull this up, but I feel like I wonder how that would have been in live action. If that would have just been like weird, because it probably would have been.
I don't know how that would look.
Yeah,
Like, I'm trying to picture how that would look animated right now.
It would be too cartoonish. But it probably would have been pretty cool at the same time.
I guess while you're finding that, I can give my thoughts on Riva.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. I thought her character was fine. I thought all of the backlash on Moses Ingram was ridiculous, and people need to calm down and, stop being Star Wars actors like we talked about a couple weeks ago. Happens too often.
Well, the people criticizing her performance, that's okay. You can criticize the performance. You can not like someone's performance. But yeah, when you take it to like a certain point, not okay. But yeah, I think it's fair to say it was a bad character and she did a bad job. I don't think she did a bad job. I think the first few episodes, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I do agree though. I wish that she had been like
hmm
dark side and not like a semi threat and then not really a threat
Yeah.
on.
Okay, so here's the clip of what I was just talking about. See if you can hear it.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, so I wonder how that would have looked in live action.
I kind of want to see it, but at the same time, I don't want to see it.
Did we even get a shot of them spinning their lightsabers? Like with the double blade with
I think we got it once
really?
in like episode.
That's like
Maybe.
the coolest part of an Inquisitor. Like their hilt that spins. That's so cool.
Yeah,
I
I feel like
wish
we
I would have
might
got more
have
of
when
that.
it was Vader versus Reva.
Mm. Now, here's the thing: what they should have done. Kenobi is about Kenobi surviving Order 66 and what he does afterwards. So, why were the first four episodes about Leia running away and being rescued? Why weren't they about the Inquisitors hunting Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Like that was the side story. It felt like, and barely got explored, and like they never like met up. Like if he was fighting Inquisitors for the first four episodes, and then he gets to Vader in the fifth and sixth episode were the way they were, that would have been a great series.
Mhm.
But I don't know why we wasted time on Leia. Like the stuff with Leia was really cool in the finale, when Obi-Wan's like listing all these things, like you got this from your mother and you got this from your father. That was a super cool moment.
Mhm.
But we didn't need the show to revolve around Leia.
No.
It was
It's called
weird.
Obi-Wan Kenobi for a reason.
Yeah. Something interesting that people are like saying is like, why doesn't Leia remember Obi-Wan in A New Hope?
Oh yeah, I remember reading about that.
And people were like, well, is he gonna wipe her memory or something? He didn't wipe her memory. He did say we're gonna like keep this a secret and stuff. So like to protect ourselves. So I guess that's kind of the answer to it. It's like they're pretending they don't know each other. And that's how she knew to give that message to Obi-Wan through R2. So that's kind of your answer, I guess.
Yeah. So I did some Googling. It looks like from a still image that I found, it looks like they had the spinning of the Inquisitor lightsaber. Maybe. Is that the right spot? Oh, there we go.
There it is. Yeah, it's a close-up shot though. I wish we would have gotten like a wide shot of that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely, I mean, maybe they did in another episode, I just can't remember, but they definitely underutilized the Inquisitors.
Mm.
That's for sure. That's the worst part of the show, I think. And that was like what intrigued me so much about this series. It's like Obi-Wan running away from Inquisitors that are hunting him. That's like so cool. It's such a cool concept. But no, it's Leia running away from Inquisitors and Obi-Wan rescuing him by putting him inside his jacket.
Yeah.
Like Vincent Adult Man from BoJack Horseman. Which I think people are complaining is like this is a real scene in Star Wars where she's escaping through his jacket. That's stupid. Star Wars does stuff like this all the time. That is so Star Wars to put someone inside your jacket. Like, come on. In A New Hope, they literally dressed up as stormtroopers and just walked around the Death Star like casually. Come on. But yeah, they pulled a Vincent Adult Man.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, I just thought that was funny. Yeah, I don't know. I feel
So-
like,
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I had nothing to say.
Oh, okay. So there's been rumors that there's going to be a season 2 out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, since this was rumored to initially be a movie, and now it's like, there's a lot of fluff added to it, I guess, or we feel like there was a lot of fluff added. Do you think season 2 is going to be the same way, where it's still stretching out that story and just adding more fluff to make it last longer?
What season 2 needs to be is Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. And his relationship with Qui-Gon as a Force ghost.
Mm,
That's what season 2 needs to be. Because now there's still like 10 more years before New Hope.
yeah.
So there's still a lot of time. And Obi-Wan has to age about 25 years to look like Alec Guinness
Hmm.
in those 10 years. So what's happening? Why is he aging so quickly? Funny thing is, like, Alec Guinness is only like 10 years older than what Ewan McGregor is like right now in A New Hope. So like it kind of like it like works with that timeline. Like maybe not 10, maybe it's a little longer, but like he's not as old as you would think he would be, like compared to like, yeah, I don't know. But I wonder if we're gonna get a Reva spinoff because she's alive, so I feel like we're gonna see her again at least.
I don't know.
Now if we got a prequel where we see her like being brought in as an inquisitor, I think that would be super cool. Because we've seen inquisitors, but we've never really seen the process of going from like Jedi to inquisitor. I think that would be really interesting. And if they do a Reva show or anything with Reva, I think that's the way to do it. Anything else, like if it takes place after Kenobi, nobody's gonna care. They're not interested because she's literally not gonna be a Jedi because they're literally being hunted until Luke comes along, obviously. But that's 10 years later, and she's not going to be an Inquisitor, obviously, because she literally tried to kill Darth Vader and yeah, all that. So I don't know. It's interesting. They kept her alive, so I feel like they're gonna do something with her. I hope it's a prequel. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I feel like if they did a sequel, like you said, it just wouldn't be like people wouldn't care, and it just wouldn't be as interesting.
Yeah. But season 2, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Yoda. Obi-Wan goes to Dagobah, and they both talk to Qui-Gon. That's what should happen. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I feel like there's something else I needed to bring up, but I don't know.
I just thought the same thing, and I've like lost my train of thought.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a little story time though. So I went to Galaxy's Edge like a week ago, 2 weeks ago at this point, and I built a lightsaber at Savi's workshop. Right here. Here's my build. Protection defense, beautiful, right? It's actually my exact build as in Jedi Fallen Order. So that's a fun little thing. But that's not why I'm gonna turn this on because I have to turn it on for the podcast, right? Come on. But anyway, so I was there. We were all in the room, and like the guy who gives a presentation, like talks about like the kyber crystals and like all that, like and the lightsabers. He's got a hood on, like originally. So he's like his head is down, he's got a hood on. And then he so majestically he whips his hood off. He's like, and it's Joe Biden. It's Joe Biden.
That's his side gig, is working in Galaxy.
Yeah, he works at Savi's workshop. The president of the United States, Joe Biden. Insane. No, obviously it's not Joe Biden, but this dude looks exactly like Joe Biden. And the way he just so majestically revealed himself was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And he looked just like Joe Biden. If you've been to Savi's workshop and gotten this guy, you know.
Should I drop $250 in a few weeks just to go see Joe Biden?
You definitely should. Well,
Galaxy's Edge?
not just to see him. First of all, to do that whole experience because it's the most amazing thing in the world. But yeah, if Joe's working that day,
I'm
Yes.
gonna go find Joe Biden in Galaxy's Edge.
you should do it. You should do it because he's there. Joe Biden works at Galaxy's Edge. But yeah, that was just so funny how he just like so dramatically and just whipped his hood down. So funny. It was just great. But yeah, that was kind of a little side story. There's not much left to say about Kenobi at this point. I've kind of gotten to all the points that I kind of wanted to make.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've pretty much gotten through all of my stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things that I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I wish I would have said that in the podcast that I'll remember right after we stop recording this."
Mhm.
But those are my general thoughts. Listen, I enjoyed every episode.
Mhm.
Did I like every episode? Did I love every episode? No. Um, but like I said, Star Wars is always enjoyable for me, and we're literally seeing Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen again in Star Wars with Obi-Wan and Anakin and Darth Vader. Yeah, it's so cool. Like the scene where Obi-Wan just like completely going ham and just like cuts his helmet in half, Darth Vader's helmet in half, and we see Anakin's face and hear his voice.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That like was one of the greatest moments I have ever seen in anything I've ever watched. It was so cool.
Yeah, I will say, like, I have enjoyed the show. Like, I've enjoyed every episode, and you know, but it's definitely gotten me back on a Star Wars kick, and I want to rewatch the prequels again, even though I just rewatched them like a few months ago. And
I think that thing every single day. I rewatch Revenge of the Sith a lot. Seen it a lot of times.
yeah.
Will I stop? No, I'm not gonna stop. It's amazing. So good. It's the greatest movie of all time. It's the greatest story of all time, the greatest movie of all time. Anakin is the greatest character of all time. And if you haven't seen Clone Wars or Rebels, mostly Clone Wars, that will just make it even better. Adding Ahsoka into all this just makes Anakin that much of a better character. Yeah, it's just great. Destroys me every time. Every time. It's like every time I rewatch it, I just think this time he's not gonna turn to the dark side. He's not gonna do it this time. Like this is the time. Nope, never happens. I made a TikTok about that. So head over to our TikTok if you want to see it. 18,000 other people have seen it. So why haven't you?
That's the question of the hour.
Yeah. Got to use every opportunity to plug the TikTok because
Yeah.
got to do it. I'm sorry. Got to do it. Got to be that typical smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn on the post notifications. We do appreciate it. We appreciate the follows on our socials. We appreciate the subscriptions. And we appreciate you listening.
Yeah.
It's always a good time over at That Sure Was a Movie, right?
Yeah, it always is.
Always have some chaos, some memes, some good discussion, some quality cinema that we discuss.
It's always quality cinema.
Always quality. Well, have we done an episode on something we haven't liked yet? I don't know if we have. I don't think we have.
Yeah, I don't think we have. I mean, I don't think we would have done an episode over something that we would have just bashed. Well,
Wait,
I take that back.
no, that makes we gotta have both sides.
No, well, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Will we do a Citizen Kane episode? I know
I was
that's what
just
you're
about to
all
say.
wondering. Listen, probably. We'll probably get there one day.
Does that mean we're gonna have to rewatch Citizen Kane?
Unfortunately, it does because I don't want to do a podcast without rewatching it. And I will say, before I completely tear apart the greatest movie of all time on the internet, I do want to give it a second chance.
Mm.
It's not going to change my mind. It's a garbage movie. And here we are in our Kenobi episode talking about Citizen Kane, completely tearing it apart. Did we do this yesterday in the Lightyear episode? Of course we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, every time.
All roads lead back to bashing Citizen Kane.
It's always going to lead back to Citizen Kane. It's always going to, because at the end of the day, we typically talk about good movies.
Yeah.
And when you're comparing movies, why not compare it to the greatest movie of all time? The greatest movie of all time. If you're listening on audio, air quotes, greatest movie of all time. According to American Film Institute, I don't know how.
No, I don't
It's
either.
bad. It's bad. I don't care what it did for the film industry, for cinema.
Cinema.
I don't care what it did. And I do appreciate what it did. And I do recognize what it did. And I think it's a great accomplishment what they did with Citizen Kane. But no. It's bad. It's boring. It's boring. Come on.
I shut it off like 5 times while watching it. It took me like 5 hours to get through it.
It's rough. I
It's
didn't want
rough.
to because I'm like, I had to just get through it, but no. We'll leave the Citizen Kane talk for our Citizen Kane episode. We don't want to talk too much about it.
No. We just these little tidbits in every episode.
Yeah. But this is our Kenobi episode. It's funny because we kind of, since we did 2 episodes this week, we kind of like skipped our like movie news and our upcoming releases segments just because we did that all yesterday. So it'd all be the same.
Mhm.
But here we are, have a whole segment dedicated to Citizen Kane right at the end of the episode, right when we should be wrapping it up, giving our thoughts about the overall show of Kenobi. And here we are
Talking about
Citizen Kane. It lives rent free in my head, and that's a problem. Is it a problem? Well, I mean, here I am wearing my Kenobi shirt. I got Kenobi right here with the pencil in his hand as a lightsaber because he didn't come with a real lightsaber, so I improvised. Now, yeah, am I like gonna talk about Citizen Kane in every episode? Well, it comes up a lot, sadly. But Kenobi is better than Citizen Kane.
oh yes.
Yeah, it's better than Citizen Kane. And that's all you need to do, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not, because being better than Citizen Kane is not hard to do. So, I mean, whatever. It's I like Kenobi. I think it's a good show. I think it's barely good. If I had to give a percentage, it's hard because my bias towards Revenge of the Sith and those characters really just make me love every second of it.
Mm.
But the story was just not it for 4 episodes. And it's a little disappointing. Yeah, my overall thoughts is it was underwhelming.
Yeah.
But also we got some of the coolest moments in ever. Yeah. So I'm glad it exists. I wish they would have handled it better. I hope there's a season 2.
Yeah. I do too.
I think season 2 is all they should do. I don't think they should do any more than season 2. But because of the way they handled season 1, I want to see them tell more of a story in a better way.
Mm.
And I think with the reaction that Kenobi has received, I think Disney is going to see this as like, I mean, we have to make a second season and we have to do it right.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like what The Mandalorian was after the sequel trilogy. They're like, okay, we've got to do Star Wars right. So, yeah, I don't know.
That's something interesting to think about is like, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've announced like anything as far as like spin-offs or series in regards to the sequel trilogy at all. And I
No.
think that's very interesting. And
Yeah, a lot of people thought they were gonna try to make the sequel trilogy better with, yeah, like shows and stuff. But yeah, it seems like they're kind of just ignoring it, which good.
I
Just,
think it can kind of be left alone.
just leave it be. You messed it up. You really messed it up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no saving it. I feel like the prequel trilogy has aged so well.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up after this too.
Like they were hated. Like Hayden Christensen, Ahmed Best got death threats because of their characters. Jake Lloyd, and the movies were hated. But our generation grew up with those movies, and we loved them because we were children and didn't see acting and CGI. We saw this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, and we always have that bias towards it, and we love it. And as we get older, we've defended them and have kind of pointed out to other generations who may have been hating them back in the day and maybe came around to enjoying them. Or maybe we're just now more vocal about it now that we have a voice on the internet where we didn't as children. So
Yeah,
that's kind of happened to the prequels. Now the sequels
I don't think they're gonna
are,
age
it's a
well.
different story because the prequels were hated because of bad CGI, because of, I don't know, bad dialogue. I think the dialogue's amazing just because of the amount of memes it's created. Yeah, there's some bad dialogue in there. There's some bad CGI in there, but I love it. I love every second of it. But the sequels wasn't that. It was, they set up a movie with The Force Awakens that pretty much everyone loved.
Mhm.
And people like to say the whole sequel trilogy is garbage. Every single movie is terrible. Ask them in 2015, they're like, Force Awakens is so good. But because of the second two movies, they just forget that that's actually a good movie on its own. Now they set that up and then they completely threw it away by changing directors, going in a completely different direction. And then The Last Jedi completely ruins everything The Force Awakens set up. Just throws away the character of Finn. And then The Rise of Skywalker tries to retcon that basically. And J.J. Abrams was like, okay, you threw away everything I did, Rian Johnson. Okay, well, I'm throwing away everything you did and continuing the story that I wanted to do, but I can't really do that anymore because of what you did. So I'm just going to say somehow Palpatine returned because that's the only option we have left at this point. Because you killed the most interesting character that I set up in the first movie for no reason. And that's why the sequel trilogy is not going to age well as the prequels, I don't think, because this trilogy is a mess and there's no story, no like continuous story that like they planned out. The prequels follows a story that George Lucas carefully thought out over what 25 years basically to tell. And yeah, it follows a story that works and it's structured the way George Lucas wanted it to be to tell what leads up to the original trilogy. And the sequels just don't do that. They just are a mess. And now there's some cool things in the sequel trilogy. I think every episode or yeah, every movie has something good about that. But it's just a mess. And I don't
Yeah.
think they're going to age like the prequels. And spin-off shows is not going to fix that.
Yeah, I think like, you know,
It could
like
help, but
it could, yeah, but I mean, like you mentioned, we defend the prequels now, and it's because we grew up with them. But I feel like kids that are growing up with the sequel trilogy aren't. I don't know. I feel like it's not going to be the same.
yeah, like I said earlier, like we didn't pay attention to bad acting and bad dialogue and bad CGI. Well, kids nowadays aren't going to be thinking about structure and planning out a trilogy, so there will be some of that. Like, there will be people who defend it because they grew up with it, and people who were 7 years old when The Force Awakens came out, they're probably always going to love the sequel trilogy. But that being said, I don't think it's going to be as much as a defense as the prequels got, just because of the amount of like story that George Lucas created and lore and all that is crazy. And the TV shows and video games and everything else kind of like enhance that, where yeah, it seems like now they're just like leaving it alone, and like now they're going, like what they've been doing is like they've been focusing on like the prequel era characters
Mhm.
with Ahsoka and Kenobi, and tying that into the original trilogy. And now it seems like after Kenobi and Mandalorian and all that stuff, I feel like now they're trying to create new Star Wars and not make shows based off characters we know. And now we're going to like Taika Waititi's movie. It's going to be brand new stuff.
Yeah,
A lot of the shows we're getting are like brand new stuff we haven't seen. So I feel like after the run of Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, I feel like they're just gonna start new, and I feel like that's the best strategy they should do. I will say, I hope we get movies. I'm not a fan of everything being a series.
Same.
Um, I just want to see Star Wars on a big screen, and I am so excited for Taika Waititi's Star Wars. Not only because I love Taika Waititi, but I just love Star Wars, and I want to see a Star Wars movie. It'll be interesting if they do the opening crawl, or if that's just a Skywalker saga thing. Because going to a theater and seeing the Star Wars logo with the Star Wars theme blaring in your ears and the opening crawl is the coolest experience you can ever have. And I'm really hoping I can experience that again. And I hope it's not just over with the Skywalker saga. I think they should continue it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's like that was the coolest thing when The Force Awakens came out, having grown up with all those movies.
Because that was the first time I'd ever seen that. Because I didn't see Revenge of the Sith in theaters. I was 5. And I didn't see it in theaters. And even if I did see it, I probably wouldn't remember it. And yeah, so that was one of the coolest moments of my entire life, actually. And yeah. So we'll see where that goes. I'm excited. When does that come out? Is that 2024?
What, Taika Waititi's?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
They just announced some like stuff about it. Taika Waititi Star Wars is, let's see. I don't know. Can't find it. Come on.
It says late. Oh, that's Wikipedia. I'm not trusting that. 2025. Okay, the internet's giving me too many years.
Yeah. But basically, he said like he's gonna create new characters and expand the world, because the only way to expand the world of Star Wars is to expand the world and not say that's what do you say, that's Chewbacca's grandma or something. I can't remember.
That's the stuff that we find in the holiday special.
Speaking of, we've got a new Lego
Yeah.
A new Lego special coming out. The
Summer
what is it called? Summer Vacation. I love the Lego stuff. They're so fun. I still haven't seen the Halloween one. I don't know why I haven't seen that yet, but the Christmas one was fun. It's like a multiverse Lego Star Wars. That was so cool. Yeah, he did say he's a yeah. He says, I don't think that I'm any use in the Star Wars universe making a film where everyone's like, oh great, well that's the blueprints to the Millennium Falcon. Oh, that's Chewbacca's grandmother. Yeah, that all stands alone. That's great, though. I would like to take something new and create some new characters and just expand the world. Otherwise, it feels like a very small story, which, yeah, I'm excited to see some brand new stuff. I really want an Old Republic movie so bad. That would be so cool. But yeah, why can I not find the date? It was like all over the place a couple of days ago.
I'm from what I looked at on the interwebs, it looks like it's somewhere between late 23 and 2025.
Yeah, we got a while to wait, but hopefully we have a lot of good Star Wars content in between with the Disney Plus shows. Got Mandalorian coming out. When is that?
February 2023.
February, that's what I thought. February. It's a long time to wait.
It'll be
Ahsoka
here
comes out.
before we know it.
Yeah, it will be. When does Ahsoka come out? They've announced so many things. Andor soon though.
Yeah,
Andor will be interesting.
very soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a character that like anybody really cares about. So I think they have the opportunity to do something cool with it, or it could just be another bland story that nobody cares about. So we'll see. It'll be interesting though if they use it as we're making a show about Andor and just completely separate it from everything else, and it's just going to be about Andor doing cool things in Star Wars, or if they're going to tie it into like original trilogy characters with like the Emperor and Vader and stuff like that. Either way, you're going to make one side of people upset because they're like, half of them be like, oh, it's just fan service. Stop doing all this. We don't care. Stop just putting every character in. It's not making your show better. And others like, why are you not giving us Vader and Palpatine? I don't care about Andor. Give me Vader and Palpatine. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Star Wars community is never going to be happy about.
No, you can never please anybody for anything. So like, there's always going to be somebody. It's just Star Wars fans are very vocal about it, and there's a lot of them. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully things will be Mandalorian quality and not Boba Fett quality and first 4 episodes of Kenobi. But I did like Kenobi. So cool to see Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor back. But I don't know. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I think we've covered everything I had on my.
Anyway, that's been our second episode of the week. Not sure when this will be posted, but we're trying to get it out as soon as possible to just be timely. So make sure you follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
At that show movie podcast.
At that show is a movie podcast. And we got a lot of cool stuff over there. A lot of cool stuff on TikTok. Follow our Instagram to keep posted on everything we do. And if you want to see some fun memes and videos, TikTok will be where those are at.
That's where all the chaos happens.
Yes.
Outside of the podcast.
Yes. Well, it's been another episode of That Sure Was a Movie, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. Check out our other videos if you have not yet. We just did a Lightyear episode. If you're interested in more Star Wars, we have done a Star Wars ranking video. So check those out, and we are sure to have more Star Wars content in the future.
Oh, yes.
And some more fun episodes coming up. Try to upload weekly. Sometimes we have a busy release schedule and have had to do multiple episodes like this one. So we'll see where that goes. But stay tuned. Follow us on socials to keep we'll keep you posted on what we're posting. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope you listen next time. And it's been another episode.